Hi, how are you today? My name is Patrick McNamee, and I'm the author of the book Strategic Management for Directors. For many years, actually more than I care to admit, I have been the principal strategy teacher on the Irish Strategic Business Direction programme for the IOD. And as a result of that, I perceived that there was a need for directors to have some material specifically geared towards their needs in the area of strategy, hence this book. Naturally, I'm going to start with the preface, which will give you some insights into the thoughts that I had when I was writing this book, and also I hope it will stimulate you to listen to some further podcasts. So the first thing I want to say about the preface is that if you were given a blank sheet of paper and you were asked what in the area of strategy should directors know, and I came up with these two sort of driving forces. The first is, in the discipline of strategy, there are some timeless characteristics which are invariant to time. That whether you're a director in 2009 or 1979, it doesn't make any difference. And there's also the sort of the opposite of that, which is contemporary best practice. What has happened in the modern business world that has transformed the way that many businesses operate? Let me start with the timeless characteristics. Now, I think that director education in the area of strategy has a sort of a core content that never ever changes. For example, when you became a director, the route that you are likely to have taken is through accounting and finance, production, marketing. You've gone up probably through a single discipline. Whenever you're a director, you must be a conductor of the orchestra, not of a section of the orchestra. So you need to look at things from wide points of view. You need to look at it from an accounting point of view, from a marketing point of view, from an HR point of view, from a production point of view, etc., etc. So one of the key things that this book will develop will be those multidisciplinary sets of knowledge and skills. We also think it's very important that you have what can be called generic transferable skills. These are skills that reside within you and are not dependent on the context in which you are working. For example, if you change from working for a large company to a small company, or from services to manufacturing or whatever, it doesn't matter. There's certain skills that are important and essential in every situation, and they don't vary from industry to industry. There's a few other things that I think are very important for directors, and very high on the list is the ability to communicate. So there's quite an emphasis here in one of the chapters on developing your verbal and presentation skills. Just a couple of other points. I believe that on the courses that we do, it's essential to have extreme workplace involvement. That is, that the context in which the models are developed are in your workplace. They're not set in some theoretical classroom context. And finally, one of the most joyful things that we have seen in our courses in Ireland has been the development of personal relationships and contacts. People meet each other on the course, they get to know each other, and they become friends for, I don't know, years and years and years. So that's the things that never change. Now let's look at some things that have changed. In my lifetime, certainly, and probably in yours, the biggest industrial change that I have seen has been the transformation wrought by the web, or Web 1.0. It's just been absolutely incredible, the way the availability of goods and services and information, the escalation in the amount of choice, the reduction in cost, the ability to communicate richly with anyone in the world. It's been phenomenal, and the effects have been profound, and I believe that our strategic initiatives should bear that in mind. We are also on the eve, or the edge of another major development, which is Web 2.0, and that is about community sharing and creating content rather than just receiving it, and also cloud computing, with which you will be familiar. And I think it's really important that our directors harness these skills for the good of their organisation. Well, that's sort of it for the introduction, and the credits for this are as follows: that the hardware, the software, the music, in fact everything was more or less developed on Apple software. So thank you very much for listening to this first podcast. I hope it has stimulated you sufficiently to listen to some more. So once again, thank you very much indeed, and goodbye.